What's up, everybody? One coach's opinion, and that's just it. It's my opinion, and it's not a fact. So look, I wanted to talk today about what exactly a coach is, because I'll explain some of the situation. Not really. We'll just talk about what a coach is supposed to be. Let's start it. A coach is really your third eye. So I say to say there's no great coach out there that didn't have maybe a great fighter that he could base why he considers himself a good coach or a great coach or whatever. So basically, fighters validate coaches. Let's say that, because you got coaches with one fighter getting coach of the year, and you got another coach with 7 fighters that never lost, and nobody knows them because they're not at world title level, or they haven't won a world title. So I say to say your coaches are products of fighters. Fighters can be products of coaches. When you get to a certain level, it becomes a team thing. You both need each other. A coach is like your third eye. So you come to the table and you're doing good. A coach is your third eye. He's what you don't see, or what you're not able to look at while you're in the ring. So say you're in the ring, you're doing good. Coach, yeah, good. That's good. All right. Yeah, keep that up. It's coaching. And if you're doing real good, you might only need 2 of your eyes. But it's gonna come a time when you need that third eye. When you get to a certain level, when all the guys train just as hard as you, and everybody has a certain thing about them that has got them where they are, you might need that third eye if your style doesn't just destroy your opponent's style. Now here's the thing about that third eye. How far do you think you would get in life if, say, somebody threw a rock at you from this side, your right eye saw it, but before you ducked, your left eye had to see it too. Your body trusts what either eye sees. So go apply that to boxing. If your coach sees something and you're not going to respond to it until your other 2 eyes see it, or at least maybe one of your eyes see it. I don't even know how you're holding the sign, bro. He must forgot. I'm sorry. He must have forgot he was holding the traffic sign. So, yeah. So, if your third eye is saying, "Hey, man, he keeps doing this," and you're not going to respond to it until your other 2 eyes see it, then you don't really need a coach, because you're not listening anyway. You're not going to listen anyway. It's like your third eye. So if say take the third eye off, if your left eye sees something and you are not going to respond until your right eye agrees with it, a lot of bad things are going to happen to you. It could be car accidents. If you see a car coming on the right, don't look like he's stopping, but you got to turn your head and let your left eye see it before you decide you want to brake. There's going to be a lot of car accidents. You trust your eyes. So if you decided you wanted to say you had a third eye for some reason on your body, and you decide you want to listen to it, and say this eye looks at the ground all the time, and you say, hey, watch out for that stick, and you got to wait until your other eyes look down and see it, you're going to trip. You're probably going to trip. So in the ring, if your coach sees something and he's telling you about it, it's probably because your other 2 eyes are unable to see it, or just don't see it. It all works together. So your coach is supposed to see the things that you don't see. I don't want to make this count. So, prime example, what I'm talking about, I always tell the story to guys, but I never really probably told the story. Outside to Tony Thompson, heavyweight, fought Klitschko a couple times. And when you get to the level he got on, you don't get there through luck. You know, he might not beat Klitschko twice, but when you get to the level you can get a world title twice, it's really not the fact that you can't fight. It's, you know, it's just, this is where you might cap off at. Like, you know, but Buffalo's a hell of a team, but, you know, they never won a Super Bowl. It's like 4 straight. But nobody's gonna say Buffalo's sorry as shit. Buffalo just didn't win a Super Bowl. So anyway, I'll tell you this story. I'm working Tony's corner. They're running the scores of the fights. We're in Turkey. They're running the scores of the fights. Every 4 rounds, they'll give you the score. Every 4 rounds, they'll give you the score. So we get to, I think it was the end of the 4th. They haven't really brought the scores around. And we're in the corner, and I say, Tony, I said, I know how you fight. I've been watching you fight for years. I said, I know your style. I said, but based on what the crowd is doing and what's going on, what I see in the ring, you're losing this fight. He was like, shit, coach. Shit, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm like, I'm fucking this dude up. Excuse my language. I was like, all right, I'm just telling you what I see. But I know Tony's style. The shots Tony was hitting him with, even if he was gonna knock him out pretty soon or stop him, the shots he was landing is his thing. And I know, I watched him spar and everything. I've been watching him for years. Tony knew me. We didn't even like each other when I first started training my kids. He said I yelled at my sons too much. He said he wanted to punch me in the face. But that's my son's age and stuff when I first met him. So finally the scores come around, you know, and I show him the scorecard. I said, Joe, you're losing on every card. And Tony said, oh yeah, watch this. And he goes out there and just starts just crushing dudes, Now, I mean, I guess you could say, well, why didn't he just crush the dude from the jump? Because he thought he was doing enough to win a fight. Judging from the way the crowd was every time the other guy did anything, judging from some of their ring positions with Tony laying on the ropes, but Tony knows how to like hit certain shots off the ropes that I saw the guy running into. But I was like, Joe, it don't, with what's going on and the momentum, and you're looking at how the crowd is cheering, how we're in Turkey, I said, you're probably losing this fight. Now, maybe sparring somewhere, or maybe in New York, he might have been winning this fight. To me, that has a big play in it too. You can fight in New York, or you can fight in California. You're gonna have different judges. You're gonna have, most judges came up through the amateur system and judged amateur fights, so they're conditioned for a certain style. Usually if you go to New York, you got more black Puerto Rican fighters and stuff like that. They fight more of a elusive style, more in and out style. You go on the West Coast, you got more of a press them out style, guards up, control the ring style. And it's kind of how you might have to adjust your fight game. Crowds going all blah, blah, blah. That affects judges and everything. So I say it to say, if he would have kept fighting the way he was fighting, he might have got something through it. Shit might have changed. But if he would have, I'm not even gonna say, well, if I wasn't there, it ain't about that. It's just about listening to Third Eye. Because no matter what, he had to make the decision of whether or not he was gonna say, I don't even know why I hired this guy. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Or I hired him, so I might as well listen to him. Tony went on to beat the guy. I mean, I learned a lot from Tony. Just about the mentality of the sport, some training, the value of training, the business a little bit. So hats off to Tony Thompson and the experience. And any coach that goes through any experience like that, learn to get something off of it. Because, like I said, even a broke clock is right twice a day, unless it shows AM and PM. But I say that because you need to watch out. You need to respect if you're going to get a coach. And you need, let me say something else. If you're going to go find you a coach, maybe go to the gym a couple times. And don't be disrespectful. Say, man, hey, man, I need to see how you talk. Just say, man, look, is it okay if I watch, a little bit and just, or find out some homework on. Just don't bounce around to any coach, and figure this is going to be what's going on. Because it might, not saying you might not have found the coach for you, or you might have found the coach and you just don't listen. But bottom line is, you have to find the coach because that's your third eye, and you have to trust your third eye. When your third eye sees something, you got to jump on it. You can't wait. If you're sitting there and you got to wait to see what your coach is telling you before you'll do it, it's not really coaching. Because if you saw it, it would be getting done. And it could be actually too, truthfully, you might be this guy might be setting you up and you're getting hit with a shot that even though your coach sees it and you see it, you might still can't stop it. And that is a form of the other guy's coach probably saying, Joe, he can't stop it. Keep doing it. He can't stop it. He hasn't figured out how to stop it, and you got to exploit it. The worst thing I hate to see is a guy land a shot in the ring and never try it again. Instead, he's trying here, I'm going here, I'm going to go here. And you don't build off what you see. Now, that's one thing I will say about that West Coast style. When they do come forward, they just come forward. If they see something, usually they exploit something. That's one of the reasons I love Floyd as a fighter. If you look at it, Floyd is, in most of his fights, you never say, oh, look at the Floyd fight. Man, he did this, he did that, he did this, he was doing that, then he started doing this, that. Floyd was normally a fighter. Once he found your weakness, he exploited it, and that's what made him great. If you look at any of his fights, you're not going to say, ooh, remember the fight where he did this, he was that. Like Sugar Ray, great fighter. Difference being, Sugar Ray just would probably be in just as good, if not better shape than you. Hand speed, especially when he was young. Hand speed, foot speed, which allowed him to do stuff. And Sugar Ray Leonard was the type of fighter that once he got you in danger, he just finished you off. Blah, blah, just activity. Blah, 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 blah. Get the fight stopped. You know what I'm saying? Not saying, and this ain't gonna, I'm not leading to who was better, Floyd. I'm just saying, as a coach or as a fighter, when they see something, or you see something, you have to exploit that, because maybe they can't stop it. Maybe when they go to the corner, the coach can't stop it. Or sometimes you have to take advantage of it before he gets to the corner, because the coach might have the solution and he's busy out there and you're fighting and he can't hear him. But when he gets to the corner, the coach might have the solution to what he's getting hit with. But it's all about you not being able to see. If you're getting hit with a shot and you can't stop the shot, either you can't stop the shot, or somebody, either you or your corner, doesn't see how the other guy's landing the shot. But all a part of coaching. That's the value of a coach. He's the third eye. And just take fighting out of it. He might see the way you spar, the way you train, whatever you're doing. He might be the one that sees the mistakes that evidently somebody else hasn't seen. You know, if you go to a guy, if you bring along a fighter that is just coming to you, it's his job to try to correct mistakes. If I get a guy who comes to me, he's a pro, and say he has 9 fights, I'm not, unless the jab was his problem, and I'm like, Joe, I've been watching you for a while, Joe, you don't really respect your jab, you just throw it out there, blah, blah, blah. we're not going into how your stance and all this and this and that. Now, if you're 1-8, I mean, you know, you probably needed help anyway. You've been doing a lot of stuff wrong. But say you're 8-1, I shouldn't have to talk about how you stand and you need to do this, your balance. I mean, you could help with that. Don't get me wrong. You can help with that, but you should be. It should be just a build. I should be able to just see what the other coaches might have missed or something like that. And sometimes it might not be the other coaches. You might have to face the fact it's you. If you've been to 5 coaches and you're getting the same results, it might just be you. So, one coach's opinion, all I'm saying is go get you a coach that you can trust, because when you really need that third eye, that third person that has to tell you, hey, look, man, I don't know why you need to do this, man. Blah, 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 blah. You need to listen. You can't just start listening when you feel like it. Remember that. You can't. That's another thing for Bob. You can't start listening when you feel like it. You either listen or you don't. Bottom line, you either listen to your corner and trust them, or they're just water boys and cut men, for real, with sore throats because they're tired of yelling to shit you ain't listening to. So, one coach's opinion, that's what a coach is for. He's your third eye. You need to learn to trust that third eye. If you got to second guess him before you do it, most likely it's not going to work, because by the time you see it, it's going to be gone. One coach's opinion, I'm out. Let me know what you think.